Hey guys, Didi here, how are we all doing? I hope you're doing well. So today I thought I'd do a quick update on my Oncidium twinkles. So I made an order, oh my god, I don't remember, like a couple of months back, and I ordered a whole bunch of Oncidium twinkle orchids and they arrived to me not very great. So unfortunately I had to rehab a lot of them and I wanted to give you guys a quick update on how they're doing, and I can say they are actually doing really well. So I did manage to rehab them. So these are the, well, I don't know if I can hold them all up. These are the four, and how I rehab them is basically just sticking them in sphagnum moss and just keeping that spag moist. And it was a little bit of a difficult process, just because, you know, the sphagnum moss dries out really quickly, especially because this is such a small pot. But I kept on top of it, and even when it dried out a little bit, it was fine. So this one, I can't actually remember which one this is. I think this actually, no, wait, this isn't part of the order, is it? Or is it? Nope, this is a completely different Oncidium twinkle, but I'll just give an update anyway. This is one that I had from last year. It wasn't doing great, so again I stuck some sphagnum moss in here with bark, just because these guys like to stay moist when they're growing, and so I couldn't keep up with the watering schedule, so I stuck spag in here, and since I've done that, they're doing so much better. And this one has pushed on 2 new growths, and there's actually some root activity starting, which I will try and get a close-up of. So I'm trying to get in there. My camera doesn't want to focus, but you can see, oh god, you can see there's a tiny little root there. And, well, there is another root on the other side, but I've buried it already in the spag. So that is a good indication right there. So this is the old pseudo bulb, and then we've got 1 new growth and 2 new growths. So these are the actual ones from the order. Oh yeah, and these ones as well, because I split them into quite a few different pots, just because I had 2 different ones. One was a red one, the rest are the white ones, and some of them had like some mold and, you know, issues going on, so I separated them all. So this one, I don't remember, it didn't come labelled, it didn't have a bloom stalk in it, so I don't know if this is a red one or a white one, or what it is, but as you can tell, it's the original pseudo bulb, which is this one, is kind of starting to wrinkle, but we have got a nice new growth coming along, and it's actually growing quite a lot. And if I can get in there, I don't know if I can on here, if you see this like tiny little white speck at the bottom there, that is a new root. These were all rootless orchids pretty much when they got to me. They had no like viable roots, and so I had to reroot them all, and I think I've kind of successfully done that all, so it's really exciting. And I know these are going to be a while, a long while, until they're at blooming stage, until they have enough pseudo bulbs that they'll have enough energy to be able to bloom. So at least, you know, if I can keep this going, that's 1 pseudo bulb. If that then, you know, grows another new growth, etc., that's like a yay. it will eventually happen that I'll have some blooms. This one I have labelled as a white one, apparently, and as you can tell, I don't know how, if you can tell, or maybe against like my black shirt, you can see the roots are growing out of the bottom. There are so many roots in like coming out of here. Again, these were all rootless. I just did the same thing, stuck them on spag, put some bark as well, and they're doing really well. So this has 1, 2, 3 new growths coming. I don't know if I'll be able to show you. Again, I'll have to, oh, careful not to squish the roots like a silly. Let me just get my phone. So yeah, you can hopefully see the roots here. And this is how much it's rooted, guys. Like, this is how much it rooted from having no roots at all. And you can see, like, right there, that is a new growth that's pushing up. This long sticky bit here. Sorry, it's really hard to fit. Let me put it back in its thing so you can actually see, so I don't have to worry about the roots. That's another new growth. And then if you see this tiny little thing here, that's another new growth. This one is doing really well. I can't remember which one. I think they're all in here. I had some that had like mold right in the middle. I don't know how that happened. It got like these like brown, I think it's these ones. Yeah, again, I'll get really up close. Can you see like that dark patch there? All these 3 have had that. So I don't know, that was probably the beginnings of rot. And so because I didn't know if these were going to survive, I potted them up separately. And again, same thing. These are just in straight sphagnum moss though, just because I think I ran out of bark, so I just used the sphagnums, and I can tell these are dry. These need a water. So this one I think is also a red twinkle. This one looks probably the worst out of like all of them. It is completely shriveled. I don't even know how it's still alive. Like, I don't know how much closer I can get. I'm getting like dying on the table, it's digging into me. But yeah, hopefully you guys can see that. It's in a sorry state. But again, it's got a new growth coming. Hopefully I can, you know, keep that going and it will survive enough to, you know, have that new growth mature and then hopefully, you know, continue that cycle. This one is, I think, another white one, and then I think this is also another white one. So yeah, these ones are doing really well. They have all the new growths coming. So there's a tiny little one here, and then there's 2 more just emerging there. So this is like the right stage. This is like encouraging signs to see, because this is the time when Oncidium orchids usually start to put on their growth, their new growths for the season, and hopefully their new blooms for the next season. But obviously I'm not holding out hope that any of these guys are going to bloom this year. It would be lovely if they did, you know. I love the twinkles, they smell great, they look great. But if they don't bloom, then they don't bloom, you know? It's not a big deal. Again, like I said with orchids, if you own orchids, like, patience is key, because they don't always want to bloom, and, you know, it can take a long time for them to bloom. So a lot of the time you are just looking at green foliage or whatever foliage that you have. So yeah, this one is also pushing on. I can't even tell you, there's just growths everywhere, literally coming out of pretty much every single pseudobulb that I have in here. And I didn't have any clear pots, so I potted it up in this, but I'm definitely going to give all of these guys soon a repot so that I can, you know, have them in a clear pot, be able to see their roots, you know, see any issues that occur. I've already seen in here there are like 2 like desiccated bulbs. So these were the bulbs that were like, I don't know if I can get in and show you properly. I swear I just had it in the camera. So you can see those like yellow spots. And those are like really old bulbs that they've now shriveled up and died. I definitely want to get those out, get those off, because they will continue to degrade and could cause issues. And anyway, this is going to be crowded because, like I said, there are new growths everywhere, so I'm going to have to like rearrange these so that the growths, you know, grow all the correct way, and etc. So that is the Oncidiums. And then I did have another orchid that I got, and it was in a sorry state. It had so much cold damage. It was not good. It was not good at all. And so I did the riskiest thing ever. All those leaves, it had like 6 leaves, they all fell off. So I was left with these 2, and it had 2 flower spikes. Now I cut those off, and that was probably not the correct thing to do, but I did it because I didn't want the plant to put any energy into, you know, producing any blooms, because that takes energy away from actually trying to, you know, repair itself and heal itself and get energy to, you know, be able to actually bloom. So I cut them off. And for a long time, these just looked so bad. So this is a Sweet Memory Leodoro. I can't remember if it's Leodoro or Leodoro, whatever. It's one of those ones. I didn't have any fragrance, so it did come with blooms, but I didn't smell any fragrance on it. So I don't know, like, were the conditions not right? Was it not sunny enough? Was it not warm enough or something? So yeah, I don't know. Mine wasn't fragrant. This is meant to be a fragrant one. It's a Phalaenopsis, by the way. I didn't say that, it's a Phalaenopsis. And now I did the same trick. It was in sphagnum and bark, and now you can see, oh god, almost dropped it. There's this gorgeous new like leaf coming out, and there is a gorgeous new, oh, I don't know if you can see, like a root tip that is just about starting. And yes, I have soil all up in my fingernails if you're seeing that. I've just come in from the garden, and it's really hard to clean your nails of soil, so excuse that. But yeah, it's growing, so it's doing things. It was sitting there for a long time with just these leaves. I had even like desiccated roots. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna lose this. And I mean, it's not difficult to find, it's just not very common to find. Usually you have to go to like specialist orchid nurseries to be able to find these things, find this plant. So, you know, I know again, it's probably going to be a long time before this ever blooms for me again. But, you know, I'm willing to put in the work to like keep this alive. And if I ever come across it again, then, you know, I will buy another one. But at the moment, you know, it's live, it's doing things, and it's exciting. It's really exciting, you know, when you have plants that aren't doing so well, you know, they're failing, and you try your hardest to save them, and then you know, you're like, oh, nothing's happening, it's still dying, and you still continue, and then they start to grow. It's really fun, it's really rewarding, and I just love it. It's like, you know, you do, especially when you do like experiments and you're like, I have no idea if this is gonna work, and then it ends up working. It's great. So yeah, cross the fingers that I can continue to keep that like growing. These all need water. I need to definitely get on that after this video and water them all. So yeah, that's just a quick update on my orchids. Not all of my orchids, but some of my orchids. I will, if you guys are interested, I do have a couple more that are still in bloom. So I don't remember the last time I did my orchids in bloom. I think it was like a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. Sometime in February. We're like in April now, so that's probably six weeks ago. Yep, I know. It's, yeah, like 6 weeks ago, I think. They're still in bloom, so they're doing really well. And seeing as I'm here, you remember my Sideria japonica? So it hasn't done anything, it hasn't bloomed. I don't know if it's still too early in the season for it to bloom, like it is a spring bloomer, so I don't know if it eventually will start pushing up a spike in the near future, I don't know. But it is busy, I don't know if you guys can see that, growing another leaf. So this is the newest leaf that I've grown in my care, and now there is another leaf that is starting to grow. So I'm just like waiting because I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to bloom, I don't know if it's just going to keep pushing out foliage growth and then I have to wait until next year for it to bloom. I have no idea, you know, but again, it's just the fun thing of, it's just what it is with growing orchids, like I said. So yeah, that is it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe, you are more than welcome to. Otherwise, have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will catch you guys soon with another one.